how impressive were the New England Patriots last night in their big-time win?
Very. The Pats' first team to reach 11 wins. They were in control of the game against the Giants all the way, I thought. They played well in all three phases of the game, particularly the special teams. The 10 straight wins now, an 11-2 record. Vrabel is the third coach since 1970 to have a 10-game winning streak in his first season with a new team. The Giants lost their seventh straight, were poor in all phases of the game, just the opposite, I thought, of the Patriots. The Patriots were more physical, and you mentioned the big hit on Jaxson Dart, tiptoeing down the sidelines there instead of stepping out of bounds. He stayed in, and hey, that's a clean hit. I'm sorry. The Giants players got all upset. They got into a scuffle about it, but why? Dart was running down the sidelines. He wasn't stepping out of bounds, so he should expect that. And he actually said that after the game. He said, we're not playing soccer out here. This is a contact sport. I expect to get hit, but, getting knocked out and going out of two games and a concussion protocol doesn't help his team much. So he's got to be a little smarter out there, I think. Marcus Jones, one of my favorite players, 94-yard punt return for a TD to go along with his punt return for a touchdown in Week 4. I think he's the best punt returner in the league, right? Who else has two for touchdowns? And I think he had another one in that Week 4 game, which came very close. He got tackled, he ran it back. He got tackled in the red zone. So the guy is good in terms of punt returning. He's excellent. Giants led at halftime by 30-7. And I have a question for you after you give your take. Is there a problem with Abdul Carter? I don't get it. This is the third time he's been held out of the starting lineup in a game. He said stuff happens. The Pats have a bye now, and then Buffalo at home, which will be a big game.
Well, that is off the field issues. That's dealing with meetings and missing stuff. So outside of that, yeah, I would say he does have an issue. He's not accountable. He has to sit out these games, and they're suffering because of it. So I do think that's off the field stuff. The New England Patriots, and people are going to complain about this, and they've said it since from the get-go. The Patriots have an easy strength of schedule. Blah, blah, blah. How about you just beat the teams on your schedule? The Patriots don't make the schedule. It's the league that makes the schedule. They had one of the worst records in the NFL last year. That's normally what happens. You normally get an easier schedule if you're a terrible team. Well, in the case of the Patriots, they have one of the easiest schedules in the NFL. And they also have similar strength of victories than teams like the Denver Broncos, but nobody's talking about the Denver Broncos because they're too focused on how poor their offense is. But for me, it's about wins when they matter. For instance, there's a number out there. How about this? Records against current playoff teams. The Patriots are the only undefeated team in that category. So we could talk about, they have the easiest schedule. Do they win the games that matter? Well, against playoff teams, they're currently 2-0. By far, they're the only undefeated team in the entire NFL against playoff teams that are currently sitting in the playoff contention, 1 through 14 spots. So for me, yeah, that's something. And I had this little query last time we spoke about this. Will they be battle-tested when it comes to if they play Buffalo in the playoffs, or if they play Cincinnati, if they get there, Baltimore, whoever else, the Kansas City Chiefs, or whatnot? If they go up against a Denver defense, will Drake Maye or Travion Henderson look the same? Those are all questions that we could have, and they're perfectly fine questions. If the Texans finally get into the playoffs, you have to go against Danielle Hunter with Will Campbell potentially going to be out for that game. How are you going to hold up against Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson? Those are very fine questions, but for me, people are complaining about the fact that they've had a tough schedule. To me, it doesn't really matter. They've won 11 games because those are the games on their schedule. They had one really bad opening week loss to the Raiders, who look absolutely abysmal. They're half of an NFL team. Too bad the Titans are not an NFL team, so they claim that spot for worst team in the NFL. But in this game, I thought, by far, the Patriots dominated. And like you mentioned, on all facets of the game, offense, defense, special teams, incredible offensively. You scored 30 points in the first half. You could have scored another touchdown. Hunter Henry twice, actually. One that got called back for a penalty, and another one that either Drake Maye missed it or Hunter Henry dropped it. Also, the Kyle Williams throw I thought was perfect, and that touchdown to Williams was also his 11th touchdown against the Blitz, which is the tying franchise legend Tom Brady back in 2016 for the most in a season by a Patriots quarterback in the last 10 seasons. So Drake Maye's doing stuff that is Tom Brady-esque, and if he has 2 more games of 75% completion percentage, 2+ touchdowns, and 100+ passer rating, he'll pass or if he has 3 of the games, he'll pass Tom Brady all-time record in games like that. So Drake Maye this season is having a legendary type year. And is it against lackluster competition? Sure. To me, again, it doesn't matter. He doesn't make the schedule. The Patriots don't make a schedule. They don't beg for the schedule. That's the schedule that was handed to them. And are they absolutely excelling when they need to? 1,000%. I think the biggest thing for me is, I know this game was at home, but for me, it's you're undefeated on the road. That's where normally your most difficult games are, away from your home field. And the Patriots are undefeated there. So that just shows you can go anywhere you want. The Patriots, it doesn't matter. They're going to dominate. They have, I think they're 7th in most points scored at home. They did a great job defensively. They played with incredible physicality. I know people are complaining about the Jaxson Dart hit. He was trying to get a first down. I understand it. But the Giants have 2 wins. You're out of playoff contention. This is your first game back coming off concussion protocol. No idea why you're taking these risks. You're a gamer. Absolutely, I agree. I actually would have feared, in this case, Jameis Winston a little bit more, because I thought Jaxson Dart maybe too soon to bring him back right now. So be it. Mike Kafka, he's the head coach. He's making these decisions. Defensively, though, remember, Shane Bowen's gone. What are they going to do? They're going to bring their outside linebacker coach now to be their DC. 33 points in his first ever performance calling defensive plays. Abdul Carter needs to get his act together. Off the field stuff, missing team meetings, or not being accountable. That's obviously an issue here. But ultimately, and then on special teams, Marcus Jones is doing exactly what I thought he should be doing. Yes, has he gotten a couple nice interceptions? One of them that was a pick 6 against the Bengals that was thrown his way. That's a little asterisk for me. He also has the most touchdowns allowed by any Patriots player this season with 6. Again, don't love it. He got cooked by Drake London. But special teams is his thing. In fact, he has 14.6 yards per punt return, most in NFL history. So he is a special team guy. He is a gadget guy. He's a very, very nifty, shifty kind of guy. But yeah, I really hate it when people online say, "Oh, the Patriots playing the easy schedule." They don't make the schedule. They're doing their job. They've won 10 straight. They've had a couple. They handed the Pittsburgh game away. They shouldn't have lost that game. Ramondre Stevenson can't stop fumbling the football. Week 1, new team, new coach, new OC, all of it. So, maybe give them a pass for that game. But they've been lights out ever since. And I do think, I understand it's crazy to think, second-year quarterback coming off, they just passed a couple weeks ago, more wins than they had the last 2 seasons combined. But this is a Patriots team that looks somewhat recognizable of the Tom Brady, Bill Belichick. And it's not that far off, because think about it. Who's designing the plays for Tom Brady and for Drake Maye? And think about Mac Jones' rookie year having that same OC. That's an example of a guy who was a head coach, failed, but is a very, very good offensive coach. He didn't work out as a head coach, but he's a great coordinator. And that's Josh McDaniels. Think about this. And also, it's not crazy to think about the dynasty. And I know Belichick's not there. I know Brady's not there. But who knows about a dynasty on the Patriots? Oh, how about their head coach, Mike Vrabel, who was part of that first Patriots dynasty? So this is a team that I do think deserves to be, you don't want to step in the Patriots' way. They're on fire right now. They're going up against, not great competition, but they've beaten the Buffalo Bills. They've come up in some big-time games. They've been down and out and have come back. They let their foot off the gas in this game against the Giants. But when you score 30 points in the first half, that shows you just how good the Patriots can be when they're firing on all cylinders. And the way Drake Maye's been playing, that throw to Kyle Williams, you can't place the ball better than that. Over the defender's head, right in the breadbasket, 1 step, 2 step in. You can't get better than that. The Patriots have missed that. The Patriots have missed that big time.
It was an excellent catch as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that bringing Josh McDaniel back to be the OC for Drake Maye was a stroke of genius. They interviewed Drake Maye before the game, and he said that with McDaniel, he watches film of Brady playing, and the offense is very similar to what Brady ran. So, he's trying to emulate Brady, and he's doing a damn good job of it. Is their schedule, have they benefited from, some of the teams they played? Sure. But they managed to win those games. I agree with you. They don't make the schedule. Any given Sunday, any team can win. So they've had a number of games that you could say were trap games, and they didn't get trapped. The games that they lost, the first game of the season, that was, they're just getting going. And then the game against the Steelers, as you say, they gave the game away. I give Mike Vrabel a lot of credit. I think the character that he's given that team, the culture that he's built there in such a short period of time to be in this position, number one seed in the AFC, it's remarkable. And hats off to him.
And we also have to think about it. The history of the Patriots. They don't win in Miami. What they do in week 2? They win in Miami. You go up against the number one defense at the time with Myles Garrett staring you down and the number one pass defense. What happens? You put up 32 points against them. You go in Tampa, Baker Mayfield hot streak. What do? You beat them. There are a lot. You go up against Buffalo when they're still doing all right and they still don't have as many questions as we have now about Buffalo. All of a sudden, what do? You upset Buffalo in Buffalo. So you do all these things, and you play Buffalo again. You have all these statement wins. At some point, you got to be like, okay, well, they're not fraudulent. They're not like the 11-0 and one-score game Vikings in 2022, and they lost to the Giants. It was in round 1. They're not that team. I think they're a better team than that because they're playing with extreme physicality on defense. Offensively, I mean, we're talking about a guy who's about to set NFL history on a number of categories, passing 07 Brady, which is by far, in my opinion, the greatest quarterback season in NFL history.
Yeah, well,
if you're passing that in your second year starting,
it's amazing.
What can you do? What can you build off of? Mike Vrabel's not going anywhere for years, potentially decades. Josh McDaniels, he'll be there as long as he wants to keep coaching and being the OC.
Drake Maye, last year he had problems with turnovers, fumbles, and interceptions. In the beginning of this season, you saw some of that, but he's wiped that out. You don't see that anymore. He's just very, very good job at managing the game and making some big plays. And he throws a very catchable ball. He just so easily just flips it out there, and it's a perfect spiral. And most of the time, it's right there for the guy to catch. It's really it was a smart move to draft him.
I completely agree. I would say, though, here's the big comparison between that. Josh McDaniels, Alex Van Pelt. Those are the two coordinators you're talking about here. Who would you rather work for if you're a young quarterback? Just take a look at recent history. Tom Brady, success. Cam Newton, when the Patriots had no idea what to do directly post-Brady, and they had to literally change how they were doing because for the first time in 20 years, they had a mobile-ish quarterback. Cam Newton, a little old, injury history at that time. He was still mobile. He had a couple, he had like 16 rushing touchdowns, if I'm not mistaken. He was crazy that year.
Some critical turnovers, too.
He did, but, opened the year, he had like a 300-something yard game.
No, they used him right. Josh McDaniel adjusted to that.
He
on the fly.
Right. Mac Jones' rookie year, Pro Bowler playoff.
He's a genius offensive coordinator.
Absolutely.
There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, and he has had to change his system. He's had to adjust it. He has to constantly adapt to who he has in front of him. And Josh McDaniels, each time with the Patriots, has excelled. Like I said, Brady, 6-time Super Bowl champion with the New England Patriots. Cam Newton, the Patriots were respectable. They beat Lamar Jackson. And then Mac Jones' rookie year. All of a sudden, Pro Bowler, making the playoffs, getting cooked by the Buffalo Bills in the playoffs, but still, Mac Jones looked very, very good. Now you're looking at Drake Maye, what we saw last year, some questionable turnovers. He made some great plays, great arm strength, but questionable plays, young quarterback, you saw the mistakes. Now he's looking like a true veteran. We're talking about a guy who's about to take the AFC East crown away from the Buffalo Bills for the first time since Brady left. So this has been a crazy ride for the Patriots, going from 4 wins to now going to what? Looking at their schedule, Bills, Ravens, Jets, Dolphins, in my mind, if Lamar stays in this weird slump, that's a 4-0 streak right there. Patriots end 15-2. Realistically, let's just say, let's say they split with the Bills and lose to the Ravens. You're still winning 2 games. That's a 13-4 season. You're literally flipping your record from last year.
You still win the division.
Exactly. And it's crazy. The Patriots, they're averaging 27 points a game and only allowing 18.5. Their defense is stepping up big, and their offense has been incredible. Now, running the football, the reason why it's so low is because you're not using the right running back. You're keeping Ramondre out there averaging a 1.5 yards per carry. Trevion Henderson's breaking on for 25-yard runs. Maybe put him in the backfield a little bit more. Ramondre had a nice catch and run, but ultimately, you're not going to go very far with a guy in Ramondre Stevenson who's averaging 3.3 yards a carry. Meanwhile, Trevion Henderson has 6.1 and got out-carried by Stevenson. Again, I understand. You gave him a big extension. Play the guy that's more effective for you. Trevion Henderson. Hi, everybody. Thank you for watching this clip of the Harvey Hour. If you want to watch the full show, you can by clicking the I in the top right-hand corner
right now. If you want to take the show with you on the go, it is available wherever you get your podcast. We go live here on YouTube every single Tuesday and Friday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button, and the notification bell to get notified whenever we upload a video and whenever we go live.